This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Answering more questions today for the Power Project, brought to you by dangerouslyhardcore.com. I want to thank all the fans out there and all you people that are subscribing to Super Training 06 YouTube page. I appreciate the support and appreciate all you people tuning in and watching Stan Efferding hit that huge 905 squat. We got more footage to come that's going to come up on supertraining.tv probably tomorrow morning, along with a discount code for the Slanger. So be looking out for that. We're going to post that video, 905 raw squat done by Stan the Rhino Efferding, along with another world record holder, Dan Green, who squats 800 pounds raw as well. Unbelievable. And stop arguing about knee wraps and shit like that. You guys don't determine what's raw and what's not. The federations do. A lot of federations allow knee wraps, some don't. Whatever. Who cares? It's still an amazing lift done under certain rules and certain regulations of certain federations. And on top of that, you guys are arguing about a gym lift. So let's not get too carried away about things. Anyway, we got questions to answer. Question number one is from Darren Bell. He wants to talk about the pecs. He wants to talk about my movies. So when training the pecs and trying to get bigger, more jacked up pecs, that was kind of your question. You want to know how to add hypertrophy to the chesticles, as I like to call them. What you're going to want to do, there's a couple things. If you're not already fully engaged in powerlifting, which I believe that you are, powerlifting and lifting heavy weights and getting into overloading the muscles is going to be very important to you. It's not always the most important thing for hypertrophy. However, it is important to have some improvement and to gain some strength over a period of time. The more weight that you can handle and the more reps and volumes and more sets and more stuff that you can add in there, the better off you're going to be. The better base that you have, the more you're going to add to it. The better foundation that you have, the bigger you can build upon it. So think of it in those terms. So time dumbbell bench pressing is something that you mentioned in your question. That's a pretty good way of go about doing things. But really, you just need to get in a lot of work. If you want to build hypertrophy, you want to learn to do the lift the correct way. You want to learn to bench press the correct way. On top of that, you want to learn how to utilize your muscles. Now, a lot of times in powerlifting terms, you'll hear people kind of talk about when they go to do a bench press that they're not using their chest, that they're using more of their lats and their triceps. And that's something that in building hypertrophy that you wouldn't want to necessarily do. So you'll have some exercise where you're going to overload, and you'll have some exercise where you're going to actually underload. So for example, an example of an underload would be that you would do, let's say, 225 for 5 sets of 5. I have no idea what your strength level is. But let's just say you're going to take 60% of your max and do 5 sets of 5 with it, and you're going to use a 4-second descent on the way down. And then you're going to press up explosively and try to really focus in on flexing your pecs, that kind of thing. So that would be kind of an example of an underload. Also, dumbbell bench pressing would be kind of in that category as well, where the main focus is not just to use weights, but the main focus is to also activate the muscles and to get into those muscles, get into that muscle tissue, get the mind-muscle connection going, and get a pump going. That's something that powerlifters don't do enough. That's something powerlifters don't talk about enough. But a lot of the best powerlifters, some of the strongest guys in the world, are the most jacked. Look at Sam Bird, who's successfully done an over 1,100 pound squat. The guy competed at 198 and 220. He's also had the raw record as well in the squat. And one of the reasons for that is because the dude is jacked, and because he puts himself through hell when he trains, and he has built himself up to be not only jacked and have a lot of hypertrophy, but also to be very strong. He also got Stan Efferding as an example. He got many, many examples out there of guys that are jacked and guys that are strong. And a lot of these guys are putting themselves through hell, basically, doing sets to failure and some things that a lot of times you hear are not taught by the powerlifting community. So just as a general rule, just as something that just to throw out there and give you some basics, you need 10 to 12 sets minimum on a chest day for you to gain some hypertrophy. I know that's an extremely general and blanket statement, but a lot of times that's what you guys are looking for. You guys are looking for an actual answer rather than for me to throw out there and say that everybody's different. I'll just actually give you that actual answer. So a couple sets of bench pressing followed by a couple sets of incline dumbbell bench pressing followed by a couple sets of flies. Maybe finish off the day with some push-ups and you're all good. Something like that. Now we had another question. This will be a quickie about a picture that I posted up on the Facebooks. This is from Raph the Leo or something like that. The guy's name is. He had a question about the earthquake bar / bamboo bar. I posted up a picture on Facebook of the bands attached to the bamboo bar. A bamboo bar is exactly what it sounds. It's a barbell made of bamboo, and the bar is shaky. Earthquake bar, they call it. The bar is shaky and causes a lot of instability. And by creating havoc and having a lot of instability in the lift, it helps to tap into your own stability, trying to make your body more stable, trying to make yourself tighter as you get through the lift. So this barbell, by having a tremendous amount of shaking and all kinds of things like that going on, it's going to help make you stronger. It's going to help with rehab, and it's going to help with prehab. How does it help make you stronger? It helps to teach you how to bench press in the proper groove over and over and over again. The second you get out of the groove, and I hate using that term because I think it's overutilized, but second you get out of that groove with the bar shaking like this, you're dead meat. So you got to be really careful. You got to stay really tight with that barbell, and you got to really learn how to press through the lift and drive it through your triceps and your lats as hard as you can. Also, it takes an incredible amount of balance, and those of you that have handled big weights in competition know that a huge part of the battle is to balance that crap out, and you're going to learn a lot of that from pressing with this barbell. Also, another thing it's going to do, as I mentioned, prehab, rehab. Those of us at Super Training Gym who've had shoulder problems, happens here and there to certain lifters. We'll utilize sets of 20, 30, 40 repetitions at a time, and it helps to pump blood into the area without causing a lot of damage, because the weights that you're handling, this is a huge underload that you're gonna be using when you use this bar. You can't utilize that much weight. Most amount of weight you're going to be using is around 200 pounds if you're lucky. But for most of you out there, probably going to handle about 100 or 110 pounds, somewhere in that range. And once you start handling those type of weights, the stability starts to go all over the place, but it's firing. Your muscles are firing like crazy, and you'll get a tremendous pump in your muscles. You get a tremendous amount of blood flow going through the ligaments and tendons, and you're going to feel all that. And it actually feels really, really, really good. So it's something you're going to want to look into. It's just something I posted up. We got an article coming up in thepowermagazine.com. An article about the bamboo bar is coming up, so you're going to want to check that out as well. And that is it from supertraining.tv. I'm out.